What's up, everybody? Jason from Straight Edge Knives, and this is the FOX Knives Euro. Check this thing out. About a year ago, when I was at SHOT Show, I did a short with this, showing it off. Kind of fell in love with the looks and the style of it while I was there, and now I finally got my hands on one. I'm ready to get over here and test this thing out. I'm pretty excited for it. Big shout out to the Knife Connection for getting me hooked up with this blade to try out. It's just one that I've been eyeballing for a while. I really like FOX Knives. I think at least the products that I've reviewed and seeing the quality and the craftsmanship that's went into some of the stuff that I've reviewed, like the FOX Knife Smarty Automatic. Just did my review on these. Really enjoy them. They're pretty tough and durable folders. And so I can imagine that the fixed blades are just going to be even better. What's really cool about these Euros is you have these big fixed blades, but they also have folders as well with the same blade shape and stuff. So I'd like to get my hands on one of those too, just for comparing them. But really, really cool blade. When I was at SHOT Show, one of the interesting things that I found out about these FOX Euros is they have this really cool acid wash finish, as you can see there. And it's different on the other side. What's neat about this finish that they use is there's no two blades are alike. These are all, I mean, yeah, you all have the same, it has the same blade shape, has the same handle materials, but the acid wash finish is going to be different on each blade. So in a way, you're kind of getting a customized one-off, with a finish, which I think is pretty cool, because I could buy two, I could get a hold of another one of these, put them side by side, and the acid wash finish is not going to be the same. It's going to have a different pattern. And so I think that's a really cool, I know it's aesthetics, but I think it's just really cool that you know that you have kind of a one-of-one, in a weird sort of way, version of a blade. So it's kind of cool, customized, and people who doesn't like customization, right? But this thing came out of the box super sharp. Comes with a really nice Kydex sheath. Got a little lanyard here on that you can take off if you don't want it. Plenty of mounting hole options here to put on any type of carry system you want. It comes with this kind of Tech-Lock style blade Tech-Lock style clip, if you will. I'm not exactly sure, but close it up. It's got a little button you push on the bottom, opens it up. You can adjust this to make it fit different size belts. You could rotate it if you wanted to carry horizontal or vertical. It's a cool system. It works really well. It's super durable. Not necessarily my cup of tea. I prefer to have a little bit of a drop to my blades. I don't like my blade handles riding up so high. So for like me, I would take this off and I would come up with some sort of a drop loop system. But that's just me. It's a personal preference. This does work out of the box. If this is all I had, I wouldn't have any problem using it. It's just kind of personal preference. But sheath is really nice. Blade locks in nice and tight. Very minimal rattle. Just a little bit, but nothing crazy. But it's in there. It's not coming out. And that's the important thing to me is, how secure is the blade going to be? It does have a nice little bit of a thumb ramp, so you can come in here, just push on it, pop it right out. Hear a positive click, lock up. So it does come with a really nice sheath. Blade, the quality and fit and finish on this is fantastic. Let's go over the specs on this. So this is the FOX Knives Euro, designed by Wanderer Tactical. The blade still on this is Nylox. The Rockwell harness is 59 to 61, so it's got a really nice hardness to it. It's going to be able to, it's going to have a good edge. It's going to hold that edge for a while. It does have that acid wash finish. The blade thickness is 0.23. The blade length is 6.10. Overall, you're looking at 11.8. The handle is 5.7. The weight on this is 15 ounces. With the sheath, you're looking at 20.5. So it's not the lightest knife in the world, but it's not also the heaviest, if that makes sense. To me, it feels really like nimble. It does come with that Kydex sheath. You can get this. This is the green micarta handle scales, or you can get black G10. I really like the green micarta. I'm just a big fan of micarta in general, but feels really good. Like I said, Kydex sheath. Got a nice big finger choil here, so you can get up in here. You got to do some really good up close work. This locks your finger in place. All of this is rounded down here, so doesn't feel like it's going to be like biting or digging into your hand. The handle thickness isn't overly thick. It just feels really good. Balance wise, if I balance this on my finger, you're looking right at about this choil slash actually a little bit just in front of that choil, right at that choil. It's kind of the balance point, but it does feel like it's a little bit of a front heavy blade, just a tad. It feels a little bit lighter in the back end than it does the front. But I think that's going to lend itself well to chopping. And when we get over the testing area, we're going to find that out. We're going to get in there. We're going to do some chopping with this. It is a 0.23 inch thick blade, so I think we can do some heavy work with this. It has a nice point to it. It's not a super acutely sharp point because of this drop point design, but it is enough of a point. And we'll stab into the catalog too and see what kind of penetration we get there. You do have some nice jimping on the back here. It's nicely rounded, so you can press your thumb in there to get that extra little grip. You do have this little ramp right here in the back, so if you want to choke up, you can actually get your thumb right in there like that as well. There is this little notch right here. I'm not 100% sure what that's for. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be, I don't think it's for striking a fire rod because this doesn't really have a 90-degree spine. I was playing around with it a little bit with my fire rod, and it's not going to throw sparks, you know. Oh, I guess it could be wrong. Did a little bit there, but not much. I mean, it's throwing off like the tiniest bit of sparks. I wouldn't say this is going to have the best back end for throwing sparks, but I guess you could always take a Dremel or something to flatten that out. But it is kind of rounded off. It's not really a true like a 90-degree spine. And there's nowhere really on here that feels like everything's nicely chamfered, which is good because it's not going to bite into your finger, but it doesn't lend itself well to throwing sparks. But it is, that's fine. If you wanted to, you could always take it to a grinder and really make a flat spot if you wanted to, or you can carry a dedicated, fire striker like on the Subaru even. So you don't necessarily have to. But let's get over the testing area. Let's put this thing to its paces and see how well this Nylock still coming out of Italy stands up. Oh, I completely almost forgot. Before we get over the testing area, a quick word from our sponsors. I'm so sorry, I feel bad now. We've got 7 minutes in the video and I haven't talked about the sponsors yet. Guys, Wicked Industries, they are the makers of Wicked Wax and Wicked Clean. These are two fantastic products that I utilize to help keep my blades in tip-top shape. After I do my reviews, their blades are usually kind of gunky, got stains, dirt, and whatever on them. I'll utilize Wicked Clean on there. Has a really, really, really light abrasive on there that will get that gunk off, but it doesn't mess up your finish. After I'm done wiping that off, I'll put a layer of Wicked Wax on there. Keep it coated, make sure it's protected from moisture. Don't get any light surface rust or anything like that. And then when I'm done with my videos and my hands are beat up, I utilize Wicked Rescue to help keep my hands moisturized. Helps the little cuts and nicks and bruises heal up a little bit faster. Works really good. And if you're interested in picking up Wicked Wax or Wicked Clean, head over to the Knife Connection, guys, right here. The Knife Connection, awesome online company. They are an authorized Fox Knives dealer, so you can watch this video, and if you decide you want one of these Euros, you can head over there and pick one up. But they also carry Wicked Wax, Wicked Clean. They also carry they also carry a lot of other brands, a lot of really cool brands, a lot of smaller makers and stuff like that. So Knife Connection is definitely a website worth checking out. So head over to the Knife Connection. There'll be a link for them down below as well. And check out what they have to offer. Pick yourself up a Fox knife. You can get, the Euro or maybe one of these Fox Smarties and have yourself a great new knife, right? So head over there and check them out. So now we got to get over to the testing area. All right, everybody, we're over here at the testing area. Let's get this bad boy out. Set the sheath down to the side. Give you a nice look at it in the light here. Well, kind of light. It's been like foggy, overcast, cold here for like the last couple of weeks. We're getting brief periods of sun. I tell you, I'm actually with a vest and a hoodie on, and I'm cold actually. I know I'm complaining. I know some of you are dealing with some severe winter storms and stuff like that, but this is where I live. It's where I live, and where it's cold, it's cold. So let's get to the testing here. So here we have the old catalog. I need to get a new one of these. This one's getting pretty beat up, but I wanted to test out the penetration of this with this knife. So again, you have this really nice finger choil here, so you're able to kind of get your hand right there. I'm not worried that my hand's going to slip up. I can lock my finger over the top too, as well as to come in here, do a nice hard stab, that drop point. Pretty good. Got about halfway through the catalog there. Again, with this really wide tip, to be able to penetrate halfway into this catalog, I think is pretty good, all things considered. Let's come in here, do another one. tip is right about there. And again, about halfway through the catalog. So overall, the penetration on it, it's not, you know, if it was a clip point or something like that, obviously it would go deeper. For a drop point, a really wide drop point at that, I think it did a pretty good job of penetrating in there. Let's do a little corner chop here. Oh yeah, that's good. Missing though. Bam, there we go. I like doing that. It makes a mess, but I also had a really bad aim there. I could have cut that off a little better. Oh, stuck that in there good. Oh, that's stuck in there good. Oh, there we go. Bam. Come in there, do some cuts through some thick paper. We could do it. No problem there. Let's clean all that off. I definitely made a mess. Got paper everywhere. So if you had to come in and cut through some paper and stuff, you definitely can. I'm running out of jean material here. Look at that. Been cutting this stuff up. But if you had to come in, cut some clothing off of somebody, let's say they fell down and got hurt. Look at that, right in there, no problem. Right through the crease of the pants here where it's double stitched. Cut through. No issues there at all. So go through cutting some clothing off and things like that to help with an emergency. Definitely not gonna have any issues there. We got the old paracord here. It's all tangled up. How'd that happen? I don't know, whatever. So we got paracord here. So obviously we got to come in here and do your EDC stuff, cut, you know, paracord, stuff like that. You can come in here and cut paracord. Not gonna have any problems there. Nice sharp blade. This nylock still, you know, from what I've just playing around with this stuff, I mean, this stuff holds an edge. It comes super sharp. I'm really digging it. Here we got 3 pieces of that paracord. Do a light chop, bam, cut through all of them. No problems there. We got this old Sisu rope. This stuff is, I don't know, I hate this stuff. It is a pain to cut because it's really, really slick for some reason. But look at that. That just bit right in there. Chewed it up. Oh, I'm a little bit surprised, guys. That is probably one of the easiest cuts I've had on this rope, particular rope. This stuff feels like it's been dipped in freaking Slick 50 oil, and knife blades just want to slide right off of it and not even really cut it. And this is just, it's biting in and just cutting right through. So I'm pretty impressed with that. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. Come in here and do some light chops on this. Woo! Making it snow already. Come in here, double up, double chops. Bam! Look at that. Come in here, you easily chop that stuff up if you needed to cut it quicker. I'm really impressed with how easily that cut through though, because I've had some really, really sharp knives just go and slide right off and not really cut that rope. This just bit in and dug in deep and just cut it really easy. So pretty impressed with that. I'm happy with that for sure. Here we have the old fire hose. I am definitely running out. I need to try to find some more. This stuff is made to go through car wreckages, broken glass, all that stuff. Can we cut through, slice through this? Absolutely. Sliced right through there, no problem. Had to come in here and chop this. Bam, chopped it right in half. And if you guys never seen the inside of a fire hose, you got 2 layers of canvas like this. This is the inner layer of canvas with rubber that's glued to the inside. So again, it's tough stuff, hard to cut. I mean, I've had some knives really struggle with cutting through that, and I've had other knives like this that just breeze right through it. Here we have a tie down strap. No problems cutting this stuff up either. Just eats right through. You guys use this stuff for moving furniture and, you know, doing all kinds of tying down stuff. You know, sometimes this stuff likes to get bunched up and tied up in a knot, and it becomes a pain in the rump to get it untied. So you can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna cut it. Bam, just like that. Cut it up in a bunch of pieces, ready to go. It's out of the way. Do I have any more of that cotton rope? Oh, there's a little piece here. This is that weird kind of cotton synthetic rope. Had to come in, cut a piece of this. Right through it, no issues there. Come in and chop it as well, no problem. So your EDC, small EDC style task, we're not having any issues with. Here we have a piece of 3000 psi rated pressure washer hose. You had to come in here, cut through this, do a press cut through it. Yeah, there we go. No problem. And if you don't know, a pressure washer hose actually has a hard layer of plastic inside of it, if you can see that there. And then there's like this weird nylon layer, and then there's the rubber plastic stuff. So it's not the easiest stuff to cut through either, but we were able to cut through it. Come in here, oops, miss, chop. You can chop chunks of it off. Nice clean cuts right through there as well. Here we have some more that synthetic nylon. This is the yellow stuff. Let's come in here, fold this over. Oop. Bam, cut through this. Absolutely. And again, this stuff is kind of a pain to cut as well. Oop, missed that one little spot right there. But you can come in here, cut pieces of this off if you need to. Just like that. And then if you need to, you can come in here, got doubled up layer right here, do some chops, chop it in half if you need to, things like that. No problems there. And now we have the old extension cord. This stuff, it's just a regular old household extension cord, nothing too wild, but it is 3 layers of copper wire, all the plastic sheathing. This is not, also, again, not the easiest thing to cut because you are cutting through metal essentially. So we'll come in here, I like to hold it this way. Oh, slid off there. Slid off there too. I'm cutting through it, but I'm sliding a little bit. There we go. Cut through it, absolutely. Chop pieces off, you can chop pieces off. No problem. Let's check that knife edge. Still a nice sharp edge. No chipping or rolling. No glinting that I can see. Holding up really well. That acid wash finish is holding up good too. So there we go. And now obviously when I'm chopping down, I'm actually coming in and I'm getting deep into this log stump too. It's like sticking in there nice and deep. So that's a lot of pressure going right onto the edge, and it's holding up just fine. So your EDC style stuff, cutting rope, cutting fire hose, clothing, stuff like that, not gonna have any issues there. Let's get to the little bit of the Woodcrafty type stuff. So here we have a stick. We're gonna make a tent stake. This one's broken off a little bit. We need to dial that in. I'm gonna choke up here, get you that choil. You can come in here, hog material off if you need to. Get that dialed down to the point you need. If you need it to be at a super acute sharp point, or maybe you need it to be a little bit more of a flat point, you can dial it in. I personally like to come in and just, we're gonna cut this right off, make it a nice square piece again. Bam, that piece went flying. We're locked in. I like to come in and do just some light chops, because you might be in a little bit of a hurry. That storm might be coming. I just like to do it this way, because one, it lets me practice like light control chops with the knife, but then two, it's a little bit quicker. Get it there. Now I'll come in, dial it into either the vampire stake I need it to be, or the nice flat piece I need to drive into the ground for my tent. Now we got that point, we need to make a notch. So I like, again, we're utilizing this choil, which feels good actually. And come in here, I like to cut into the, just work the blade into the stick a little bit. Basically, I'm just carving down to about a halfway point, quarter of the way to halfway, just depending on how deep I need it, like so. Then I'll take the knife, pull it over the top where I cut, get those pieces out of there. Come in, you need to clean it up a little bit, you can. Now I got a nice little notch for driving this in the ground, put my paracord around there, bam, my tent, my tarp, shelter, whatever, isn't gonna go anywhere. But making a tent stake, absolutely come in there. But if you need to come in and chop up some little pieces of wood, it's just chopping right through that, no problem. Little chunks, busting them off. Split that one in half. come in there. I do like that forward weight because I choke back and it's just driving right through the material. So I do really like that it has a little bit of a forward weight, because it's just making that chopping a little bit easier to do, which is nice. But this handle is, the pattern that they put on this handle, this tread pattern, is aggressive enough that it's not gonna, I don't feel like it's gonna slide out of my hand either. So I think they did a really good job there. So there we got some chopping, stuff like that. Let's do some more chopping here. This is a little bit of a thicker piece of stick. This obviously got some knot branches coming out here, but we're gonna hold it right here. We're gonna just come in here, chop on the end of this bad boy. Bites in easily. Does a good job. I'm trying to make sure I cut away from me. I did see a video recently where a guy was chopping. He kind of came in, had a deflecting blow, and it came up and cut his hand pretty bad. So I've been consciously trying to make sure that when I'm doing this, I'm kind of cutting away from myself. So if it does deflect off, it goes that way and not towards me. Because the last thing you want is to get cut, and especially if you're out camping somewhere, you know, you're way up in the mountains. Oop, that hit my camera. Post broke off. Last thing you want is to get a real nasty gash on your hand or arm. Yeah. And then have issues, you know what I'm saying? So if you're out and about in the woods, try to practice knife safety. Try to cut away from yourself, not towards yourself if you can avoid it, just to be safe. So that was a pretty thick stick. I was able to chop through that pretty good. Here's another one. This is a little bit of a thicker boy as well. Had to come in here, chop on this guy. And this stuff is old, hard wood. It's been sitting out here 100+ degree summer heat, so it's dried out pretty good. Bam. No problem there. Now, again, inevitably, I know I'm going to have somebody in the video say, you should come in at a 45-degree opposite angles. 100% agree with you. I really do. Again, I'm having to hold this stick though. I am a little bit worried about accidentally deflecting and hitting my hand. So I'm trying to be careful. That's why you see a lot of my cuts are just going to be away from me. So if I needed to make a wedge, come here, cut that side down. Cut that side down. Now, got a nice little wedge. You can wedge a door, wedge whatever it is you need to wedge. Whatever, wedge if you wedge, I guess. So, chopping, no issues. Blade is holding up perfectly fine. No chipping, rolling. You guys see there? Just perfectly good. So, doing some chopping and stuff, absolutely. Now, fire sticks. You got to make a fire stick, right? So, one of the ways I like to do my fire sticks is a lot of people will come in, make their fire sticks like this, or their feather sticks, whatever you want to call it. And this works perfectly fine. I can do it. I'm just not the greatest at it. I prefer to stick the knife in the wood, take the stick, and draw the stick over the wood. I feel like my fire curls are way better this way. I have a little bit more control. I can control the wood, and I'm not worried about the knife slipping off or cutting a piece off and then stabbing myself, right? So I like doing it this way. This was a piece of softwood. Let's say you had to do it with a piece of hardwood, because, you know, depending on your environment, you may have hard or soft wood out there. This is a piece of seasoned almond wood. This stuff gets pretty damn hard. If I had to make some curls with this, oh, they just fell off. You can make some pretty darn curls with it that way too. There's a little bit of a thinner stick too. There you go. You come in and do feather sticks with hardwood or softwood, no issues. Again, I just prefer to stick the knife in the wood. But now we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. The controversial topic of all time, I guess, of the knife industry, batoning with your knife. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Look, I'm not necessarily saying you should go out and baton with your knife all the time. You are going to run into situations where you might have to do it. We're not all walking around packing an axe, right? Or a silky saw or whatever. It happens. Sometimes you might have to baton a piece of wood, but with something like this that's 0.23 inches, yeah, I'm pretty confident it's going to be able to baton through the wood, okay? Would I recommend doing it all the time, every day, every time you go camping? No, if you can, try to, if you know you're going camping, take an axe, but you know, you might get in that situation where you just weren't expecting to go out, car accident, something, you're stuck out in the woods. You might need a baton, and you got to know if you can do it or not, right? So, and that's the whole point for me doing the batoning on this video. Now, there are some knives that are specifically designed to be able to take that beating. By all means, go for it with those. Yeah. Took that chunk off, no problem. Kind of split it. It didn't go all the way down the middle. Kind of deflected off a little bit. Now this is seasoned almond wood. This stuff is super hard. Again, it's a really hard wood. Bam. Right through that, no problem. It is a super hard wood. It is not the easiest thing in the world to baton, and that's why I like to baton almond wood, because if you do have to baton through something, you want to know, well, can it handle the hard stuff, right? That's the question that you're asking yourself. Can it handle the hard batoning? Well, if I'm able to go through almond wood, it can handle some hard batoning. Here we have a nasty son of a gun. Look at that right there. I mean, this is essentially a giant knot. You have a giant knot right here where this splits off. Batoning through knots is like batoning through rocks. Okay, it's not easy. It sucks, and we're gonna do it right now. Hey, I told you. Fair warning, guys. This would be considered knife abuse. I don't recommend you do this with your knife. You know, it could void your warranty, just so you know. But I'm doing it so you don't have to, right? That's the whole goal, the whole point. Oh, almost popped out on me. Ooh, look at that, splitting in there. Man, my hands are a little beat up from a week ago doing another video, so this batoning stick is actually hurting my hand. The knife is fine, it's the darn, I need to get better batoning sticks. So this is putting a crap ton of pressure on that blade edge, on that blade. It is, you know, when you do this, you also run the risk of bending your blade. As you can see, it's starting to actually deflect down into, it's starting to curve essentially into the wood. Yeah, we just pop that off right there. Look at that. So, is the blade still straight? Yes, it is. Got like dust on it. Still straight. Still has a nice edge. Handle scales are still, everything's still locked in nice and tight. Nothing came loose. And it's taking a beating. It's taking a beating. I like this thing. It's just ergonomic. I just really like the chopping capabilities of it. I'm digging this. Wanderer Tack Tool did a good job with the design on this. I really like this fuller too. The fuller comes in, goes all the way out and just fades out. Very cool. Man, I'm digging this thing. Anyway, got a little mesmerized there. So through some hardwood, yeah, it can do some batoning. Now, let's come in. We're gonna do some penetration tests. We're gonna make a bow drill fire divot here. We're coming, stab this about 15 times. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Checking for tip durability. Still a nice sharp tip. Dug in there perfectly fine. You know, I'm gonna say with this grind, I've broken some tips off some knives, guys. I have. And I've realized that you got to look at your knife, what its intended purposes are, and you start looking at like the tip thicknesses and stuff. You got to come up to, in your mind, you got to know, okay, is this thick enough that it can handle some of that prying motion if I have to do it, or am I going to snap a tip off or bend it? The way this is ground down, it has kind of a swedge coming down, and it has a good acute tip, but I do believe this is thick enough where if you had to come in and do some prying, I think you can. So we're gonna come in here, stab in, go left, stab in, go right, left, right, left, right. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's a good strong tip right there. Yeah, there's no bending at all in that. And then look at, I was able to pretty much gouge out chunks like that. You can see that right there. So that's a good stout tip. Again, I don't recommend if you stab into something going left and right, but there are some knives where the tips are thick enough that you can do that. And if this tip is thick enough that you can do that, then you can come in here and spin it and make yourself a bow drill. You know, I call it a bow drill fire divot, but I don't know, maybe you need to make a little hole or notch or drill through some wood for some reason. That's like some bushcrafty stuff that I'm not super familiar with. But you can come in here, keep spinning this around, make yourself a little notch, a little hole, and you're not going to be worried about that tip snapping off on you, bending or breaking. You know, and that's important, I think, you know, because you don't want to stick your knife into something and accidentally break the tip off. So you come in here, do a little drill, bow drill, keep going. You can make that as deep or as big as you want. But the important thing is the tip is still solid. Didn't break, didn't bend, and it's still ready to go. So very cool. Digging it a lot. I really do like the fact that you can come in here and just chop with this thing if you need to. Look at that, take those chunks off. Love it. Look at that. Smooth as a baby's butt right there. Nice clean chops through there. No edge damage, nothing like that. Tip is still solid. Guys, the Fox Knives Euro. It can take a little bit of a beating if you need it to. That's a good thing. And it can do your wood processing, it can do your EDC task, and it can hold up to a lot of that stuff. So I definitely recommend heading over to the Knife Connection and maybe picking one of these up, or wherever it is that you like to buy your knives from. But if you can, I would definitely say pick yourself up one of these Euros from Fox Knives. Very, very cool blade. I'm digging it. All right, everybody, I greatly appreciate you watching. Stay safe, stay sharp.